Fans love it, and you will too. That's the short list, counting down the top 10 of everything in sports. Only from SSN, the Cindy Sports Network.
I'm Sophia Murphy at the Capitol in Lansing, only on WZMQ 19 News.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kevin Hodge. Tonight on your WZMQ 19 News, we're live in Washington, D.C. with the latest on Republicans' efforts to get a budget proposal passed sometime this week. Plus, bills are proposed in the Michigan House that aim to reduce the amount of access DNR officers have when searching a property without a search warrant. And Michigan Tech University is doing away with their diversity scholarship, looking to comply with both federal and state laws. Your 19 News at 6 starts now.
Live from the UP, this is WZMQ 19 News at 6.
Checking things out from Marquette. Temperatures not too bad. I haven't seen it this mild at night in a while here, so enjoy it. They're up in close to the freezing mark under mostly cloudy skies. Can't rule out maybe a few passing snow showers late tonight, but shouldn't amount to much. In the meantime, dropped to near 30 by daybreak, and most of the UP will be in the lower 30s, so not too bad as we head into the early morning hours on Tuesday. Stay tuned. Rest of the forecast coming up later in the show. Kevin?
Tom, thank you. House Republicans are setting the groundwork for a major vote on President Trump's agenda this week. A vote on the Trump-endorsed House budget plan could occur as soon as tomorrow, but there's still a lot up in the air. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Brendan Scanlon is live on Capitol Hill to break it down. Brendan, good evening.
Hey there, Kevin. Good evening to you. Well, this sweeping singular budget approach calls for big spending cuts over the next decade or so to help pave the way for new tax cuts and other GOP priorities. However, the margin of error for passing this budget plan for Speaker Mike Johnson could not be smaller. He can afford, if all Democrats are present at the vote, he can only afford to lose one Republican. Now, if the House can pass this all-in-one budget framework, committees could begin to construct one sweeping package of legislation that includes tax cuts, immigration and energy policy, as well as military spending. If the blueprint is passed, the massive package could be fast-tracked to the House floor for a vote. But to pay for those priorities like tax cuts, spending for key programs like Medicaid could take a hit. And that has Democrats and a growing number of Republicans a little nervous and looking for reassurance from Speaker Johnson at this hour. Now, we've been hearing these concerns from Democrats for the last couple of weeks, but more Republicans are coming out and saying, look, we have to do this carefully and we have to protect those who rely on vital government programs like Medicaid. Some moderate Republicans in swing districts have been vocal about not touching Medicaid, citing the fact that a large number of their constituents, often swing voters, rely on that and other similar programs. Now, if we do see a vote this week, it will be a challenge for many House Republicans to walk a fine line, especially those who will be vulnerable in the 2026 midterms.
Moderates face a different calculation where they're trying to try to find that fine line between supporting the president that ultimately got them elected and who they probably agree with, but also recognizing that we can't be as aggressive as our more hardline conservatives want us to be.
And Kevin, last week on Friday, Senate Republicans passed a non-binding budget blueprint, but one that competes with the House's single bill approach. The Senate's version paves the way for a two-part budget to implement Trump's agenda, first with a focus on national security and energy policy, as well as some money for the southern border before dealing with some of those tax cuts down the road. But it remains to be seen if and how House and Senate Republicans will reconcile their budget differences as they work to get something across the finish line here on Capitol Hill. Reporting live in Washington for WZMQ 19 News, I'm Brendan Scanlon. Kevin, back to you.
Brendan, thank you very much as always. In Lansing, new legislation could partially close Michigan's open fields doctrine. Two UP lawmakers introduced a set of bills that will add more regulations for conservation officers. Our Michigan Capitol correspondent, Sophia Murphy, has more from one of the authors on what he wants to see happen.
State lawmakers are working to close loopholes in Michigan's search and seizure regulations.
And people in the Upper Peninsula are very, they like their property rights. I'll put it to you that way. And I think they should be respected.
The open fields doctrine covers just that. Open fields, forest, or more broadly, the area immediately surrounding the home. The exemption allows certain state officials permission to enter privately owned land without a warrant. Upper Peninsula representatives Dave Preston and Greg Markinen have reintroduced bills to tighten up those regulations.
It's the person's land. There should be some rights to ownership as far as no trespassing, especially from regarding law enforcement, especially if you're not doing anything wrong.
The bill would require officials like DNR conservation officers to get warrants to enter private land. It includes carve-outs for emergency situations like reports of active crimes or person of interest pursuits. A second bill would also add requirements for DNR officers to wear body cameras.
The body cams are as much to protect the conservation officer as to protect the citizen. I think it's just we do it everywhere else. Why don't we do it here?
Both bills have been referred to the House Committee for Natural Resources and Tourism. Preston expects a hearing next month. From Michigan's capital, Sophia Murphy, WZMQ 19 News.
Michigan Technological University has eliminated a diversity scholarship previously available to students. The Diversity Incentive Award offered a minimum of $1,000 and up to full tuition coverage for members of underrepresented groups. The university's Board of Trustees voted to retire that award on Friday. According to the Vice President of the University Relations and Enrollment, the decision was made to comply with recent federal policy changes and state law, like Ballot Proposal 2 of 2006, which restricted scholarships based on race, gender, or national origin. He also says the Diversity Incentive Award has seen very little utility since 2006. WZMQ 19 reached out for an interview on the board's decision, but a spokesperson was not available. Beginning this summer, the Marquette County Waste Management Authority will be accepting limited hazardous materials from residents and businesses in the area. Very small quantity hazardous waste generators produce up to 25 gallons of materials such as paint thinners, oil-based paints, and pesticides. Hazardous waste materials received can only stay at the landfill for 30 days, so the authority has set 2 months this year, when they will be gathering as much as they can for shipment.
Right now, our schedule is usually we ship out on July 1st and November 1st, so that would mean we could collect from the businesses during the month of June and during the month of October to meet that 30-day regulation.
The Waste Management Authority will be taking the hazardous waste by appointment. We'll have more information on WZMQ19.com. Your first warning weather forecast is after the break. Plus, Jim Koski is here to channel his inner Shakespeare in another edition of Life in the 906. And it's the 3rd annual Restaurant Week in Escanaba. We'll hear what kind of specials area businesses are offering through this Saturday. We'll be right back after this.
He knows we're coming for him.
Which means he'll do whatever it takes to get us off his trail.
What the hell is that?
Hold on, everybody. I have big news.
Jimmy, we're already ahead of you.
Oh, here I was thinking I just cracked the case. Never mind.
Our killer clearly didn't want anyone to know what he took.
So this is a heist.
What are we looking at? How about a little trigger warning next time?
NCIS is all new CBS tonight at 9/8 Central and streaming on Paramount+.
Businesses come in all shapes and sizes. Integrity doesn't. For more than a century, the Better Business Bureau has set the standards for how businesses should operate honestly and ethically. So when you're looking for a business you can trust, check to see who's BBB accredited and who isn't. Always choose the Better Business. Look for the BBB seal because it's looking out for you. That's why it's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
John's Auto is quickly becoming everybody's favorite place to get their car fixed. John's Auto is quickly becoming everybody's favorite place to fix their car. Was that right? For a better service experience, come to John's Auto Market. Why do I keep forgetting that word? Experience. Okay, go. 3, 2. For a better service experience, come to John's Auto Market.
And don't forget,
Tonight's weather is brought to you by Shunk Furniture.
the Shunk's Big Winter Sale. I've expanded our selection of American-made reclining furniture. Every one of these reclining groups come in 20 different fabric choices, and you still get the sale price. Recliners? Wow, we have over 200 recliners in stock for you to choose from. Regular recliners, and power lift recliners, and they're all on sale. We have hundreds of chairs to choose from. High-leg recliners to stress-free chairs with matching ottomans. They're all on sale. Shop Shunk's at Marquette today.
Now, WZMQ TV19 First Warning Weather with meteorologist Tom DeVecchio.
Let's check out how things are going in the upper atmosphere here, the jet stream. Remember, whenever we have purples down here, that usually means some cold air. We're not seeing it. Things are looking pretty good here with cold air really bottled up out toward northern Canada. We're left with milder conditions here. This little dip here, that's a trough. That's what could make things a little more unsettled as we head into the latter part of the week. And snow depth right now, just watch, as the milder airs come in, watch for maybe some localized flooding from snow melt. You can see a lot of snow still on the ground just northeast of McMillan, Marquette, a little over half a foot of a snow here, and of course the higher amounts, obviously where the lake effect falls, that's where the heavier snow amounts are. But be wary of some localized flooding from maybe the snow melt here. In the meantime, northerly winds, despite that, we still have some milder temperatures, though we will cool off from the 40s from a couple days ago here, and winds become light and variable. So for the balance of the nighttime hours here, see a little wave slides through, setting off maybe a couple of snow showers here as it moves on through. It'll be out, though, by mid-morning tomorrow. We really don't expect a lot from this particular system. See even some breaks in the clouds perhaps for Tuesday afternoon, and we'll keep it fairly tranquil as we head toward the nighttime hours into Wednesday morning. We'll be watching this next weather system that will eventually get into the region later on Wednesday and into Thursday, and it will provide us with some snow showers. So snowfall, though, for this little batch coming through later tonight, you can see accumulations generally less than an inch. In fact, most of you probably getting a coating here in Marquette might squeeze out about 1/10 of an inch of snowfall overall. But temperatures throughout the Upper Peninsula, most of you are just above freezing, even Marquette probably close to that freezing mark as well. And then into tomorrow, not as mild, but still not bad, mid to upper 30s. You can see holding steady here in Marquette. A little bit of light snow early to mid-morning, not much accumulation with it in the grand scheme of things. After that, we rebound a bit on Wednesday, might be able to get to 40, perhaps a little bit of rain or snow mix. Next weather system will bring in some wet snow and probably at least some light, if perhaps moderate accumulation. We'll see about that. The low is expected to stay to the south. Then here comes a cold hit, but this one's quick. We dropped to near 20 by Saturday, but we quickly rebound, and by Monday, we're milder again. Could be back to near 40 degrees.
Tom, thank you. The Escanaba DDA is showcasing the city's wide array of dining options with the 3rd annual Restaurant Week in Esqui. The downtown boasts 16 unique restaurants, and several are offering specials and new menu items now through Saturday. Today, Babaloons kicked off the week with special bagels and bagel sandwiches. Later in the week, the cafe will introduce a new smash burger, get a head start on Friday fish season, and feature hot dogs, corn dogs, and sweet waffle dogs this Saturday.
Everybody's trying something different or featuring something, so it's a good way to encourage people to come back out and either reintroduce yourself to a spot you used to go to or to find a new spot that you might like in the future.
Babaloons Cafe is open from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. and you can find a list of other participating restaurants on our website. Coming up next on Insights, we're joined by the Iron Ore Recreation Authority to get their latest updates and hear about their upcoming projects. That conversation is in 2 minutes.
If you're living with diabetes, this is the sound that could change your life.
Great news for people living with diabetes. Now you can wear a continuous glucose monitor and eliminate routine finger sticks. The days of repeated, painful finger sticks are over.
Just call 800-251-1397.
If you use insulin daily to manage your condition, a continuous glucose monitor could help you control your diabetes and reduce or eliminate those painful finger sticks. If you have Medicare or private insurance, US Med can deliver a CGM system right to your door. And if you qualify, there may be little or no cost to you. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurer directly. Call now to get your continuous glucose monitoring system so you can take control of your diabetes and get back to enjoying life.
Just call 800-251-1397. That's 800-251-1397.
When it gets colder, it's a good idea to layer up. But you can also surround yourself with an added layer of protection by getting your flu and COVID-19 vaccines. And you can safely get both vaccines at the same time. Talk to your healthcare provider and layer up for some added peace of mind.
The UP 200 is wrapped, and one station captured all the excitement. From the thrilling final stretch to the stories behind the finish line, 19 News had all the interviews with top finishers, mushers, and their amazing teams. The weather cooperated for the highs, the challenges, and the unforgettable moments from Michigan's premier sled dog race. 19 News, the best coverage and most complete UP 200 coverage. 19 News, your trusted source for the UP 200 race. You're watching WZMQ 19 News, live and local, with Kevin Hodge.
Welcome back, everyone. It's that time of the month when we check in with the Iron Ore Recreation Authority on the progress they're making in our area. Joining us is, of course, Trail Administrator Bob Hendrickson. Bob, always glad to have you on.
Hey, appreciate it.
For sure. What's the latest? What do you have for us?
Well, so we've been talking about the Lankin Land extension. That's a 5-mile extension from the end of Cabogam Road out to the Sculpture Park in Lankin Land. Coleman Engineering, we've submitted that with the state of Michigan for review. It goes through a 4 to 5 week process of making sure that it complies with what the state requires from the grant. And then from there, we'll put it out in bids. So hopefully the plan would be to get it in bids in March, award the bid in April, and start construction in May.
All right. How long do you think this project would take when construction begins?
Yeah, hopefully, well, our grant deadline is August 30th. So completing that would be the goal. We can file for an extension, but by the end of the fall is what we're looking at.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. What else we got going on?
Well, we have a lot of changes coming with our board. So we are a recreation authority that was created under the Michigan Recreation Authorities Act. That means that we're actually run by the municipalities that are paying their millages in on that. So we're going from 7 municipalities to 10 municipalities. So we have Ely, Humboldt, and Republic coming back on board. Well, actually, Republic back on board and Ely and Humboldt for the first time. And this is something that has been the goal for the Heritage Trail for a long time, is to get every municipality on board. So this will really create a new dynamic. And then also, because we have a 10-member board now, we need to have an odd number of voting members. So that's going to bring in Marquette County as a representative too. So what we're working toward right now is updating our articles of incorporation. We'll be publishing those in the newspaper and the Mining Journal coming up in the next month. And that just gets people aware that we're expanding our territory to involve the 10 municipalities. And then also we're looking to tweak the Marquette County representative to be an elector of Marquette County rather than just one of the municipalities. Kind of opens up the pool a little bit more and allows a little bit better representation of Marquette County.
Sure, yeah, and this whole thing is pretty new. I mean, this is very new for you guys, so how do you see it playing out?
Yeah, well, a lot of it, so we've been going through the process of getting appointments made from the municipalities that are joining. A lot of them are renewals. We do have Marquette, City of Marquette is terming out, so we need a new representative from the City of Marquette. That'll be decided, I think, at tonight's meeting. And then we have Don Britton, who's been a founding board member. He's stepping down this year, and that's kind of a big thing since he's been there since the inception of the Heritage Trail. Wow. So we'll be bringing that more out at the end of March. That'll be his last meeting. But he's contributed so much to this project that without his input, I don't think we would have the trail that we have at this point. So it's been awesome.
How do you go about replacing a guy like that, Bob?
I don't know if you can. I think it's something that has to develop and kind of, hopefully the board kind of kind of gels together, and then that leadership comes out of that.
All right. Anything else on the agenda?
You know, a lot of it is we got to button up the ORV route from East Negaunee. We did do that motorized bypass, which has been utilized this winter for the snowmobile trail. There's a lot of work that needs to be done still on that. We're working with the Michigan DNR with that. And then that will be probably maybe late this year, 2025, probably 2026 before we get an official ORV route going east in Negaunee. But we're looking forward to you know, finishing that up, and then also working with the West End municipalities, Ely, Humboldt, and Republic, and see what they really want to get out of the trail and how we can create more of a connection from the communities into the trail.
Sounds great. Bob, thank you as always for coming in. Always appreciate you.
I appreciate the time.
All right, still to come on your 19 News, Jim Koski gives us another edition of Life in the 906. And later, UPAWS is now accepting nominations for their annual awards. We'll have the details on who they're looking to nominate.
A measles outbreak in Texas is the worst in 30 years and spreading. We have a report on the risk to neighboring states and beyond.
And a town in Appalachia has offered people $20,000 to move there. How's it working? That's our Eye on America tonight on the CBS Evening News.
18 strangers, different walks of life, different belief systems. But you all have one thing in common. You heard the call to Survivor.
It's knowing that you're living the best day of your life.
This is my season. I've never went camping before.
I'm gonna get knocked down. It's not gonna be as hard as losing my sister.
Challenge yourself. Chase your dreams.
The new season of Survivor starts CBS Wednesday, 8/7 Central, and streaming on Paramount+.
Optimize your home with Maytag and Whirlpool appliances from Kirkish Furniture in Houghton. Maytag and Whirlpool offer best-in-class warranties on durable, state-of-the-art appliances, perfect for your laundry room or kitchen. Available in stock or online, plus free delivery and 0% financing.
WZMQ 19 seeks a talented and dynamic multimedia account executive who thrives in a fast-paced working environment. Passionate, motivated, goal-oriented individuals should apply. Responsibilities include identifying the needs of local businesses, developing strong relationships, selling advertising on our TV, digital, and CTV platforms. Email your resume and cover letter to advertising@WZMQ19.com today.
The greatest sportsmen and women. Icons of our time and beyond. Peerless performances. Champions in a class of their own. Legacies without equal. Timeless quality, superbly crafted stories showcasing the greatest sports heroes and their incredible winning moments. The Immortals, the greatest athletes of all time.
She's inquisitive.
What led to this young lady finding you in this compromising situation?
And firm.
The only thing that matters in this particular courtroom, sir, is how I see it.
Watch Equal Justice with Judge Ebony K. Williams.
Weekdays on WZMQ CBS.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Jim Koski for Life in the 906. Jim, what's the word, my friend?
Well, I don't know if you know this, Kevin, but there's a very interesting play currently on stage at NMU. It's a production of Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing, but set at a UP deer camp. It is a very unique concept. After all, I don't think I've ever heard of a Shakespeare character wearing flannel. And that made me wonder, are there other works of the Bard that could be adapted for Yoopers? I mean, what if Hamlet wasn't a tortured prince, but was instead a skier or a snowmobiler looking at the thermometer and asking himself, to freeze or not to freeze? That is the question. Houghton and Hancock are basically the Montagues and the Capulets of the UP, so maybe we should set Romeo and Juliet in the copper country and have Romeo say, "What light over yon lift bridge breaks?" Haven't we all been Richard III uttering, "Now is the winter of our discontent"? And in that same vein, should we go around proclaiming, "Shall I compare thee to a summer's day," knowing full well that we really don't have that many summer days to use as a comparison? What if Julius Caesar were a UP conservation officer telling everyone to get their fishing shanties to shore by running around yelling, "Beware the ice of March"? And finally, if you were to set Henry V in the UP, you could take one of Shakespeare's most famous lines and put a Uper spin on it. The game's afoot, especially if it's cribbage. And that might be right after Henry steps out of A Midsummer Night's Sauna. That's okay, I'll show myself out the door now. However, if you do have the chance, check out NMU's production of Much Ado About Nothing. It's a very interesting piece of work with deer camps, tourists from Chicago, and a robot deer. And I think if there's one thing we can all agree on, it's that every single work of Shakespeare is just a little bit better when it has a robot deer. I'm Jim Koski, realizing that brevity is indeed the soul of wit, and that's another slice of life in the 906.
Jim, thank you very much. And just want to give you a quick shout out for winning an MAB award this year for special programming, your Marquette 175th anniversary. So congratulations, sir.
Well, thank you very much. We should also thank Ken Baynard as well, who was the co-producer on that show and actually did all the hard editing work on it.
Yes, yes, he's very good at that. Well, I am not. Jim, thank you very much. Yeah. And don't forget to join Jim weekday afternoons on Q107 WMQT. The Upper Peninsula Animal Welfare Shelter is searching for nominees for the 2025 UPAWS Awards. The awards go hand in hand with the celebration of UPAWS' 50th anniversary this year. WZMQ's Andrew Hans has more.
The Upper Peninsula Animal Welfare Shelter has begun their nominations for the 2025 UPAWS Awards. The shelter is recognizing members of the community for their incredible contributions to animal welfare.
This is a way for us to recognize all the amazing volunteers, all the amazing community members, the animal lovers, and the animals in this community.
There are 4 awards with 2 animal recipients and 2 human recipients. Awards are given to nominees who are committed to service and support for the shelter's community, as well as those who have performed a great act of courage or compassion towards another animal or human.
If you know of an animal who's really stood up for itself, stood up for others, and it's just really remarkable in that way, it's a great one to nominate. You can write as many as you like for each of the categories, and just nominate who you believe really deserves to be recognized by UPAWS.
Nominations opened on February 20th and are available until March 21st. Winners for the awards will be announced on April 5th at the Cause for Paws Gala in Marquette at the Holiday Inn. Along with the awards ceremony, the fundraiser event will celebrate the 50th anniversary of UPAWS.
So this is a celebration of UPAWS, a celebration of this community, and a celebration of all the animal lovers we have. So this, again, is a way to recognize these people who otherwise might not take the credit themselves.
Nominations for all 4 awards can be found on their website at upaws.org.
Coming up next, Tom DeVecchio gives us a look at our overnight temperatures and a final look at weather. That's when we come back.
When migraine strikes, do you question the trade-offs of treating? Ubrelvy is another option. It works fast, and most have migraine pain relief within 2 hours. You can treat it anytime, anywhere. Tell your doctor all medicines you take. Don't take if allergic or with strong CYP3A4 inhibitors. Get help right away for allergic reactions like trouble breathing, face, mouth, tongue, or throat swelling, which may occur hours to days after. Side effects include nausea and sleepiness. Migraine pain relief starts with you. Learn how AbbVie could help you save on Ubrelvy.
What happens when the world's best journalists come together?
This was an entire building. It will take years to rebuild.
We're from CBS News, American television.
You get the all-new CBS Evening News every weeknight.
I thought it was just a rash, but it had a bullseye ring around it. My doctor said it was a tick bite. Luckily, we caught it early.
Ticks found in tall grass around your home can spread Lyme disease and other illnesses, which can lead to chronic health issues. The CDC estimates nearly 500,000 people across the country are diagnosed with Lyme disease each year.
I didn't understand why my brother was having so many asthma flare-ups. Sometimes he couldn't breathe. Turns out a roach problem at home was triggering it.
Allergens left behind by dust mites, roaches, and rodents are a major driver of asthma attacks, especially in children.
When I had a fever, body aches, and fatigue, I never thought it would have been West Nile virus. All it took was a mosquito bite while gardening.
Mosquitoes spread West Nile virus and many other diseases, and they can breed in standing water around your home. Protect your family from pests. Get the facts at pestworld.org.
The UP is a great place, Sometimes the weather changes quickly. You'll always be ready with the WZMQ 19 mobile app. Available free right now from the App Store. Your local weather power tool from WZMQ 19.
We will keep it mostly cloudy for tonight, and then after midnight, we'll start to see a little wave comes through, setting off some light snow showers here. Coating maybe an inch in some of the higher elevations from lawns out toward the western shores of Lake Superior here and the Upper Peninsula. We'll have some breaks in the clouds later in the day on Tuesday, and then another weather system will bring in more clouds and maybe a good chance of wet snow by late in the day. Lows for tonight in the lower 30s. Kevin, back to you.
Tom, thanks again. Finally tonight, the Marquette DDA, along with the Lake Superior Community Partnership, welcomed a new business to downtown Marquette. El Santo Tacos and Tequila held their grand opening and ribbon cutting ceremony today. El Santo joins La Katrina in Marquette Township and Houghton under the same ownership. El Santo's menu features regional Mexican favorites from across the country, and you can find them on Baraga Avenue. That's all for now. We'll see you tonight.